So not every season is meant to break you. Some seasons reveal the strength that God placed inside of you long before you knew it was there.
Life taught the lesson. Wisdom made it curve.
Welcome to the Wisdom Curve, where we pull wisdom from the lessons life made us earn. This is Raw Earl, your favorite life lessons coach. A quick disclaimer, this episode involves me speaking about child abuse and a parent's mental health illnesses. If this topic or these topics or any type of these topics are triggers for you, please feel free to skip ahead to the discussion part at the end of the video or the end of the podcast that you're listening to. All right, let's get started. So not every season is meant to break you. Some seasons reveal the strength that God placed inside of you long before you knew it was there. I discovered some of my mental strength when I was only 7 years old. I didn't know that that's what was happening at the time. I was just trying to survive. My mother struggled with mental illness, and my brother and I were dealing with what I now know was an abusive home. Eventually, we reached a moment when we decided to run away. So let me tell you that story of that moment. Life inside of my home at the age of 7 was very topsy-turvy. It was like a roller coaster. It was up and down. Some days would be great. Some days would be easy. Some days, mom would be mom, right? Other days, mom would be somebody else almost. We had to keep our head on a swivel, so to speak. I still have issues with not paying attention to little small details because at 7, that's what inside the home was like. We had to pay attention to very small details. Something I didn't understand until I became older was that my mother was not doing this on purpose. These weren't the type of things that she just did to do because she was mean or because she was a different person or some of those type of things. These were the type of things that she couldn't control. And I didn't realize that until I was much older, was that it was an illness and that she couldn't control it. The thing that happened to move us to running away from home was a simple haircut. I know that sounds crazy, right? It's like, why would you run away from home for a haircut? But the thing is that my mother had a mental illness, and I was sitting in the house one day watching cartoons, or one night when I should have been asleep, but I wasn't, and we weren't. And my mother looked at my head and was like, "You need a haircut." And she went into the kitchen, and I heard her rumbling around in the kitchen and everything. And she came back with some scissors. Now, keep in mind, these were not hair cutting scissors, right? These were just regular, keep in the junk drawer type of scissors. I knew I couldn't run away because if I would have ran away, that would have made it worse. So my mother just said, "Man, I'm so sick of your hair looking like this." And she held me down and started cutting my hair with these scissors. Now, this was not a professional haircut job. This was a hatchet job. I'm crying the whole time. My brother's standing there in shock watching me from across the room. It seemed like time slowed down and it lasted forever, even though it probably only lasted maybe a couple minutes. So once the haircut was finished, I went and sat in the room. Now, let me explain what this haircut looked like. It was not like I got it cut from a professional. This looks like a zebra pattern or maybe some kind of a patchwork or something. It was different lengths and sizes. And at some point, she just got frustrated with it and was just like, you know what, this is the best it is. So I'm sitting and laying on this bed that's way too big for me because I'm 7 and crying my eyes out. And I immediately went and put a hat on to cover my head. My brother walks in the room and he says, "Do you want to run away?" Before I could think about it, I was like, yes, that's what we're doing. We're going to run away. And I told my brother at the time, I said, when she starts to watch this movie, you know she doesn't go anywhere, we're gonna leave the back door. And I laid back down. And my brother was like, okay. So the movie that my mother was watching was Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, and she loved that movie. And those of you that are around my age may understand how stupid that movie was, but she loved it either way. And the thing is that we waited, and once she started watching the Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, we snuck out the back door. So you have me at age 7, my brother at maybe 11, with no shoes on in the middle of the night, maybe 50 degrees, with whatever we were sleeping on. So we didn't really have money for traditional pajamas. So we just had on like some shorts and t-shirts or something. And we walked outside. And I remember we had to walk across a railroad track. So when we got outside is when I told my brother, I said, okay, the police station is up the street. And we devised this plan to walk to the police station and tell them that our cousins had left us at McDonald's. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but again, I was 7. So we know that we would go to McDonald's and play. So we said we would tell the police that our cousins left us at McDonald's and they had got drunk and they couldn't pick us up. So could they just take us to our cousin's house? So we was like, cool. So we're walking up the sidewalk and it's like an incline of this hill. And you can see the alleyways as we walk past blocks of the buildings. And while we're walking, I could hear my mother laughing at a certain part of this movie. She always laughed at this part of the movie. And the reason we could hear her laughing was because the door was open and she had the screen door open and you could literally hear her. And it was so quiet at night that you could hear her as we was walking up the street. And my brother heard her and started crying. And he said, we should go back. And I was like, no, we're not going back. And I took my hat off and I said, look at my head. I'm not going back. We're not going back down there. We're going to the police station and we finna get to wherever we need to go, right? And I turned and I started walking and my brothers started following me. So we're walking on up the street barefoot. We get to the police station. The feeling I felt when we left was direction. It wasn't so much of freedom, it was direction. It was taking control of my life at that time. The whole situation ended when we got from the police. They bought our story or they didn't buy it, we don't know. And they took us to my cousin's house. And my cousins, everyone in my family knew that my mother had mental illness, so they went along with it, right? My sister came, who lived with us and had left because of that mental illness at the age of like 16 or 17. She's now 21. The entire time I hadn't cried, I hadn't done anything. I was stoic and I was very decisive and I knew exactly what I needed to do and we did it. And my sister got there and there's more that happened after that story, but 7-year-old me should never have had to discover how strong he is by surviving abuse. I wish that little Rod had never been placed in that position, but when I study my own experiences, I can now recognize what that moment exposed inside of me, that God placed in me from the beginning. That experience revealed a lot of things. It revealed mental strength. It revealed courage. It revealed determination. It revealed awareness. Let me be clear. God did not make that situation happen. The situation exposed what God put inside of me. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 says, we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. I was affected by what happened. I carried wounds from it, but I was not destroyed by it. The strength I discovered that day has helped me through more times than I can say. Times I've remained calm during crisis. Times I've had to lead while under personal pressure. Times I've started something without fully knowing the outcome. I did not suddenly become capable of doing those things. Life gave me the opportunity to show it, but God gave me the ability to overcome it. What difficult experience have you survived? What did that experience reveal about you? When you look back at what you survived, what did that season reveal was already inside of you? This is Rod Earl, the Wisdom Curve Podcast. See you all next week.
Life taught the lesson. Wisdom made it curve.